All right, welcome to Emlyn in the Mix, Season 2, Episode 6, as we move along the year in 2021, February 2021 to be exact. Welcome to the podcast. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can, I've got the live chats open so you can leave a comment or a reaction there. I'd love to hear from you. But we're going to get stuck straight into the podcast today. Thanks again for joining me. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, then definitely do that. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you've obviously checked it out, then you should check out the podcast as well. Available on your favorite mediums such as iTunes and Spotify. All right, perfect. So, kicking off the podcast today, saying a big farewell to, the industry legend Rupert Neve. I've got it up here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Rupert Neve looking at the Sweetwater website here. But they have a really good article. That's why I pulled it up here. If you don't know who Rupert Neve is, he's basically the godfather of mixing and sound, and he essentially his sound is essentially on countless records around the world, hit records, and he's actually done a lot for the recording industry. Absolute legend. Is maybe even a shortcoming of what this guy actually achieved in his life, because he had a massively long career and was an audio innovating genius. And in fact, I was more recently introduced to his work just in the last couple of years with some of the microphone work that he collaborated with SE Electronics on. So absolutely amazing. If you haven't had a chance to check out those microphones, I actually did a video on them. I didn't get to do a sound comparison on them, but look, if you can take my word for it, those are honestly the best microphones I've ever heard. And I know that there's people that go on about the Neumann 47, for example, or some of these really high-end studio microphones, but there's something about the Rupert Neve microphone which I can't explain. The funniest thing I can think of is this is really ridiculous, but I like singing, but I'm not like a massive singer. And I was doing some promotional video for a Christmas promotional video for a friend of mine overseas. And I sang in the Rupert Neve RNR1, which is one of the ribbon microphones. And I sounded like Frank Sinatra after I sang through that microphone. That's a ridiculous example of what that microphone can do. Obviously, it doesn't change the person you are, but it just sounded really good. It has a lot of air. It's hard to describe. But yeah, he basically, if we scroll through this article here, man, this guy is literally, up until his last days, was working on consoles and new technology. Yeah, here it is at the end of his sort of career doing the microphone designs. He actually got into that in 2008, so it's still, a decent time ago, 12 years ago. He was 82 years old when he started his adventure into microphones. Just an absolute living legend. He, honestly, if you don't know who he is, you need to honestly check this guy out. He just literally has made the best consoles, the best sounding consoles, and in my opinion, the best microphones ever. Just a legend of a guy, and it's it's one of audio industry's best, and he will not be forgotten, and his sound will carry on. All right, moving on to our next subject here, or next product, I should say. Waves has now introduced. It's a very interesting plugin, but probably this plugin is what is needed at this time in the mixing industry. Maybe, maybe not. Vocals in general, they are a big part of music these days, and having them heavily affect is also a big part of music these days. It's a particular sound for certain genres, and I guess Waves is catering to that pop, even underground sound. There's so many genres now, it's almost hard to keep up with. But one thing that is for sure is that vocal bending or vocal pitch shifting is very popular in modern day music, whether it be EDM, trap, hip hop, R&B, all of these genres and styles actually use this very popular sort of sound, and Waves have now released a plugin called the Waves Vocal Bender, which I'll do a full video on in a future video on the YouTube channel. Done a full plugin which essentially allows you to do all that bending effect, but with ease. Let's have a listen. Let's check it out. This is the Waves Vocal Bender. We're just going to play it back here for you.
I got me to sing my song. I'm putting my foot down. Making my own sound. It feels good now. Be nice if I go low. Coming back high when you make me know.
I mean, the demo sounds a little bit ridiculous, but it does what it needs to do, and this is a sound, as I said before, that people want. They want that vocal sound. They want to be able to get it quickly. Well, this vocal bender is going to help you to be able to do that. Unfortunately, I haven't got my hands on it yet because, and let me just show you this if you're watching on YouTube there. This is Wave Central, and I was going to download it for you folks today and do a demo for you. I can't believe I just said folks, but I did, and we're in the 1970s. No, not really. So yeah, this, I don't know what's going on with Wave Central, but it's literally downloading, if you have a look here on my screen, at 54 kilobytes a second. Now that, I know we got bad internet in Australia, but that is ridiculous. So something's going on with their servers or something. That's definitely not how slow my internet is. It is slow, but it's not that slow. Anyway, so I'm not going to be able to show you here on the podcast, unfortunately, but you get an idea just from listening to that real-time voice demo just there. Looking on the website, there's a bunch of testimonials, and let me just go over some of its features. Real-time monophonic voice manipulation plugin, easy vocal pitch shifting and format control, zero latency for studio recording and live performances. That's always good. The most popular vocal sound in hip-hop, pop, EDM, R&B. Told you so. That's what I said before I even read the features. LFO sequencing, amplitude, and pitch modulators for deeper musical effects, vibrato, pitch drops, sequential pitching, and more. Sequential pitching, that sounds good. It must have a little sequencer inside. I, again, haven't got my hands on it, so I don't know. Flatten feature for robotic vocals, that sounds cool. Mix knob for blending harmonies and doubles on inserts. So yeah, it sounds pretty good actually. I like messing with vocals. This could be a lot of fun. There's literally a billion testimonials here. I mean, it's great to have a testimonial, but there's just, it's almost like there's too much when I look at this page here. Anyway, there you go, guys. That is Vocal Bender from Waves. Well done, Waves. Next one I want to talk about, and we featured it on the podcast in the past. This comes from my friends, my excellent friends at Baby Audio. I love these guys. They are really, I really think they're going to do great things, and they are doing great things, but I think they're going to continue to do great things is what I mean by that. And this one I've mentioned on the podcast, of course, Spaced Out. We've even looked at it on the podcast. When I first checked it out though, it was very CPU intensive. So for those of you that actually use this plugin are going to be really excited because they've just done an update and they've gotten rid of whatever it was. They've built it from the ground up again and gotten rid of whatever it was that was really causing it to be heavily CPU intensive. And you should definitely check this plugin out because it's essentially, it's a delay and reverb, but it's also got some of their quality of life features like lo-fi, tape, emulation, that sort of stuff. It's just really rich sounding plugin. And that's what I love best about Baby Audio. They do really high quality, rich sounding plugins, and this is no exception. Spaced Out, but with the update, it's going to be hell of a worth it, and you should check it out. It's Spaced Out by Baby Audio. Love those guys. Another quick mention I'll do before we get into our feature today, which is from our friends at Roli, Equator 2, is Frontier speakers are now available. Wanted to show this on the podcast here. We've already spoken about them before, but now you can actually purchase these bad boys from your country's particular distributor, I should say, because you can't actually, from Australia at least, you can't actually buy them off the website. They have to be purchased from a distributor inside Australia, and they haven't actually reached here yet. But I dare say that in the US, you can probably just purchase them off the website, and other countries alike, you'll be able to get them either off the website or through the distributor. But I just wanted to mention that they're actually available. And look at how sleek these guys look. They just look awesome. I really love their aesthetics. And from what I've heard now, I've talked to a couple of people in the industry about these, and apparently they sound freaking amazing, which is the reason you buy a speaker. You don't buy a speaker just because it sounds good. That is stupid. Sorry. Looks good. Not because it sounds good. You only buy them because they look good. No, now I'm just being ridiculous. It is early in the morning, okay? I'm allowed to say stupid things. No, you do not buy a speaker because it looks good. That is ridiculous, okay? But these do look freaking sexy, and if they sound good, then that's the thing. I know with speakers, and I said this before, again, I said this on the podcast, I know with speakers, they can sometimes take time to adjust to them. I know with my speakers in particular, I love them, and I feel like I've adjusted to them, so now I can really vouch for them. So it might be a case, but as soon as they collaborated with Barefoot Audio, you know they're going to be pretty damn good, high quality. So that is the output speakers there, looking rather good indeed, and hopefully sounding good as well. So hopefully get a pair of them. We can give you the good news on that. Alright, awesome. So let's now jump over to our feature for the podcast today. And we've featured it before. We're going to feature it again, a bit more in depth. And we've definitely done a video on it as well on the YouTube channel. Should check that out if you get a chance. Just going to move my monitor over here so we can check it out. So we've got Ableton Live up here. And our feature today is, of course, Equator 2 from Roli. Really love this soft synth. It was... I was giving it Best Soft Synth of 2020 award from Emlyn in the Mix. Of course, there's no official award thing that I have, but for my channel and for my community and everything I support, Equator 2 is by far my favorite soft synth of the last year. And it's a hybrid analog. It sounds really rich, sounds amazing, very responsive. I don't actually own any of Roli's hardware yet, but I do have an MPE controller. And for those of you that don't know what MPE is, that is MIDI polyphonic expression. It is essentially just a more expressive way of using MIDI. You can use MIDI in almost, I call it like a fifth dimension. It's more than fifth dimension though, because it's like literally like 26,000 messages can be sent at any one time, but that's just too many numbers. So I'm going to stick with my fifth dimension thing, which is, you know, if you think about like a third dimension, there's a lot going on. You got 3 dimensions going, fourth dimension, I don't even know what that is, but fifth dimension sounds massive, right? So anyway, it just allows for very expressive control of your musical instrument with the software, and that's what MPE actually is. Now, I'm not paid by Roli. I just want to make this clear. I'm not actually paid by them, and there is no affiliate going with this particular software. I did, however, though, and I will mention that I did, however, do a little, I guess you could call it an advertisement for Roli, where I, talked about it, and, I only did it because I really believe in this soft synth. So I just want to make that really clear that this is not them paying me. I don't even get paid to do this podcast or the YouTube channel for that fact. I only get it from the supporters that watch the channel. So thank you so much for watching the channel and listening to the podcast. That really does help in every single way. So these are my honest thoughts on Equator 2, but I'm just literally rambling on right now. What you need to know is you want to be able to listen to the Equator 2. How does it actually sound? So let's get stuck into playing with it a little bit. And for the feature, we'll just sort of go over the presets and play with some of its features. I think I've just got a pretty standard FM pluck here. Let's have a listen to that. I think you can even, just from that really simple demo that I just did for you then, I think you can even just hear just how good it sounds. Like, it is a hybrid soft synth, and I don't know how they've done it, but it just has very rich sound. And it's what's amazing also, I should mention, is it doesn't use any of your CPU, like, which is impressive because it sounds like it's almost sample based, but I don't know how they did it. It just has a rich sound. We'll try and find some more presets to really demonstrate that. That's pretty good bass. Just check my... Actually, it has really good basses as well. My latest single I released, I used the bass on Equator 2. Really authentic sounding bass. Let's see if we can get some more interesting sort of... Here we go. It's like a pad. I'll get back to my synth engine here so you can see what's going on. Yeah, so you've actually got, in that pad, you've got 3 wavetable synthesis engines basically blending on top of each other. I can obviously adjust the level of each individual one, and then it's all getting routed through filters and attack decay, sustain release, amp envelopes, that sort of stuff, modulation, LFOs. It just sounds wicked. Like, they honestly... Again, I don't know how they did it, but it just sounds so good. Just try and find some more sounds for you guys. That one's a bit hot. It's going to turn it down that much. Whoa, there's a lot going on in that one. Now again, as I stated at the start of presenting this to you guys today, it uses MPE. Now, if you're looking on the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see, or the video here on YouTube, you'll be able to see there's these little blue icons next to the presets, and you've got the little orange icons next to the presets. Now the blue ones indicate that that particular preset is MPE enabled. It's enabled for using that MIDI polyphonic expression, and the orange ones just means that it works off standard MIDI control. I'm selecting some of the MPE ones. I probably don't need to because I'm just using a S49 Native Instruments MIDI controller keyboard here. See, if I just go to my normal MIDI preset. Oh, it's a totally different preset, sorry. Go back to the plug. I really like the presets where the plucks and stuff, they sound cool. What do we got here? Actually, for analog synths, it's really good too, like just classic sounding analog synths, it's really good. Awesome. Let's see if we can find you. I don't know. Let's look for, what have we got? We can go airy. We can use a search over here as well to try and find, something a bit more in the vein of what we want to look at. Let's look at keys. All right. Let's see what we got. Breathy hybrid keys. Bit of a quieter preset. We got synth. Let's go back to synth. We got splits as well. Let's have a look here. There we go. Really nice decay on that. Excellent bass too. want to check out Unison Attack, Polysynth. Let's have a look. Not bad. Anyway, guys, I can already feel myself getting sucked into this awesome sounding soft synth. Anyway, there it is, guys. Just want to give you a really quick feature. If you want to learn a bit more about this, you can check out the Roli website. I believe it's just roli.com. Hopefully that's all good. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for joining me there today as well. Please keep in mind, if you are watching on YouTube, you can always leave a comment, and I'll be happy to get back to you on the next episode. And yeah, till next time, guys, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace out. Boom.